Misguided teaching about the Trinity. People have a completely wrong concept of the Divine Trinity due to the misguided description of a divinity which consists of three persons. Every thinking human being will deem such an explanation unacceptable, thus it will either be accepted without thought or it will be rejected, whereas a correct explanation can be accepted by every human being since it reveals the essence of the eternal deity and considerably adds towards enlivening faith in God. The concept of God has already become so vague to people that they find it difficult to have faith. And if they are now expected to understand the deity as three persons as well, the concept becomes even more confused and faith will waver. Indeed, rightly so, because in order to believe in a three-person God, the intellect has to be completely detached. But God has given the human being intellect for the purpose of assessing what he should believe. But with divine assistance, that is through the Spirit of God, the intellect can certainly acknowledge a divinity if it is truthfully instructed. In that case even the keenest intellect will not refuse to agree. But this truth reveals God's being in the manner that unites love, wisdom and strength within itself, that one is unthinkable without the other. That love is the fundamental concept from whence wisdom emerges and both express themselves through the strength of will. Love is the creative principle which gives rise to everything, it is the birth-giving strength. However, it does not create aimlessly or arbitrarily, but it proceeds with wisdom. Whatever God's wisdom knows to be good and right is accomplished by his will if love urges him to do so. It is the concept of a supremely perfect being. Because love, wisdom and omnipotence are evidence of a perfect entity, which cannot be exceeded further. Love, wisdom and omnipotence are proof of divinity. They provide the human being with a concept of the eternal deity's substance, but they are not three different divine persons united within one being. The misguided doctrine of God's Trinity has considerably contributed towards people losing faith, because a description like that had to result in instinctive rejection, and thus the grace of prayer was not used, which could have provided the sincerely seeking human being with clarification. The object of their prayer was questionable. People thought it strange to call upon three persons which they should believe to be as one God. Immense confusion has been caused. It was an evident influence of Satan, who forever attempts to undermine the truth, to obscure the essence of God and to estrange God himself from them. The fact that this misguided teaching was accepted in the first place testifies of the darkened spiritual state of those who, due to their complete lack of enlightenment, did not possess any means of discrimination and hence had been excellent tools in Satan's hands to distribute this teaching and with this to endanger the faith in a manner as rarely a misguided teaching had achieved. In order to believe in God as a supremely perfect being, this being also has to introduce itself to people such that they can recognize his perfection. Also the intellect of a human being who is looking for the truth has to understand such concepts, otherwise he could not be held to account. God is not content with blind faith. He demands every teaching to be deliberated and responded to, because faith can only become alive when it has become an inner conviction. When this option is excluded from the start, when people are presented with a misguided teaching for unconditional acceptance, only blind faith can be demanded and achieved by this which is of no value before God. On the contrary, it is far more damaging to the soul, especially when God's image becomes distorted and thereby the love for him cannot arise, which is absolutely essential in order to become blessed. Amen.